merchandise.
So 我们还有7天的时间，7天的竞选期，的时间给我们去竞选。然后我们后面有卖我们的周边产品，如果居民们能够赏面支持的话，请到后面支持我们的周边产品，来支持我们的接下来的1个星期的竞选活动。
I haven't touched live. I haven't clicked on it. Hello? Okay,
Oh, really? All right. The time is now for us to start. Sekarang sudah sampai masanya untuk kita mula kita punya community ceramah. I would like to thank you first, everyone, for attending. Thank you so much. I've been driving around in that car with that speaker about the announcement for this drama tonight. I've been driving the whole section 17. I got lost twice. I even found I even can map out the whole. Thank you so much for coming. So today for our first speaker happens to be also our MC, Mr. Anthony from MUDA Bukit Bintang.
好，大家晚上好。Good evening, everyone. Any Mandarin speakers here speaking, or prefer English? English, I prefer English. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anthony Tan. I'm 34 years old. Huh? Muda lagi, masih muda lagi. So thank you for coming. I'm very happy to see the crowd coming in. And I'm very thankful to God. Today have a good rain, just now. Now it's very windy. So today just to relax, and then today when I get this on stage to Happy Mansion, actually I love Happy Mansion because this one is a community that is quite linked to me. I'm actually from, I just now shared to Cecilia about where I come from. I'm actually from Bukit Bintang. There's a place called Mansion also, called Razak Mansion. Have you heard that place? About the same age of Happy Mansion as well, built since 1963. I'm the 3rd generation there from Razak Mansion. And right now, I'm also the chairperson of the MC there, JMB, currently running the maintenance of the building and the community. So to me, an old neighborhood like this is like a big family. I don't know, would it refer to Happy Mansions? This is the place where would be your grandparents, since your grandparents, your parents, and now maybe the third generation having here. Yeah? So a lot of memory and history. And something different from my section's point is that you can see a lot of eateries coming in, yet may cause some traffic issue, but also it's like give a Happy Mansion a new life. Would it be? Would it be something? So the youngster will come into the Happy Mansion and then get good food. I would say, in Chinese say, this is actually a bou day, good feng shui place, you know, right? A very good feng shui. The business are very good, the food are very good, and the people are very nice. Yeah, give a good approach to yourself. So this is a place where I come here for chendol normally. No, good chendol here. Who don't know Happy Mansion like chendol, famous chendol? Now you must know, they have a lot of good food here. So today I'm very lucky to see face to face to the residents now, to the owners or to the tenants of Happy Mansions. How are you all tonight? Have a dinner? Good. So, Supper, Raja. Prepare for supper, Raja Janai. Yeah. Raja. Later we'll talk to Raja on this. So normally for the first speaker we will just warm up to introduction. So do you know the calon for MUDA so far? So it's VKK Raja, calon number 1. So it's very clear. So we can see I met Raja when personally he is a very successful businessman himself. He's run the family business very well and very, I would say, polite guy. And we do a lot. He gives us a lot of involved in startup a lot, and he helps youngsters to get funding for their businesses. So this is the Raja when I first met Raja in Bukit Bintang as well. So the family owns a hotel in Jalan Ta. Okay. So you can see he is very supportive, and the family is very good, very supportive. And in terms of Raja, you can see in terms of transparency, I think he's already transparent about how wealthy he is. Transparent in terms of politicians. You have to be transparent first, right? And he is independent enough to serve the community, and he is mature enough to serve the community. That's how I felt. And what else? So who, along this few weeks, 2 weeks of campaign, who have you met? Any one of you have met Raja? Da. How do you feel, sir? Friendly. He's very friendly. How about Cecilia? How do you think about her?
Convincing.
Very convincing. Thank you very much. So this is a guy I would like to say all of you, if you are voter of Pugasing, give it a try. Cuba on a new calon that is ready to serve, and then maybe some, I would say the whole political scene in Malaysia right now is like whether I should go right or should I go left. 向左转还是向右转? But actually, what I found as the normal rakyat we just want to move forward, right? 我只是要向前看而已，居民，我不要选左选右。Now, MUDA is now as a third option for you. So on the voting day.
That one level, I cannot wear short later.
Oh, very democratic, but he's still registered as a calon. So in some of your voters, maybe you only have two options. Yeah, the MUDA or who? So at here, so I can see. Thank you for all the residents who come here and then who like to meet further and then discuss further with Raja. Please do so. Raja is just live nearby here, very near to the neighborhood. He understands this neighborhood. He grown up in this neighborhood, and PJ, I think for a lot of people like me, I'm a KL boy, but I occasionally come to PJ for makan. You have a lot of good food in PJ, so we do observe the problems in PJ as well. PJ used to be I would say, it's an industry area in the 1970s. I remember when my akong, my grandparents, go to work for, I think, Nestle, and then you go PJ. My mom used to work in the hotel. There's one old hotel in Hilton Hotel. So to me, PJ is very close to me as well, because I always pass through PJ, and I can see the difference of PJ right now. Although that's okay. I need to be in on live now. So this is my first time. This is my first time to be carried out. So talking about first time, MUDA give me a lot first time. Why did I? People will ask, what's the story of my joining MUDA? I think everything also start from PJ because of the Sheraton move. Sheraton move is a force that push, I think, many of us who are previously not from political scenes, no experience at all, would like to force ourselves to come out and then to become a third choice, during that time. So that time, a bunch of us never met before. Our formation is everything online. We meet at Zoom. We discuss about the problems. That time we still have the white flag campaign, so we cannot mobile, but everything because of technology, and all of us know how to use it lah. So we discuss the meeting online, and then we go and help whoever needs in our neighborhood. So we formed our everything online that time until 6 months later we met together, and then that's the first time we went. So to me, right now I'm also the chairperson for MUDA Bukit Bintang. I would say, yes, MUDA is just very new at the moment, but I would say we have a bunch of like-minded community within our group of leaders. Yes, maybe we are not that experienced, but compared to others, we are willing to learn, and we are adapt to the new environment very fast. We can do that, and we don't have a very massive structure within our party that we have to listen to. We have to listen to everyone. Some senior up there. No, we don't. We are very open. We are open for ideas. And of course, we have teams. Like in Raja team today, we have also have some people who on the planning side of policies. We have group of think tanks inside within Raja teams as well. That's why when the community engage with Raja, we always have a team on this, on the deciding our policy. So in Raja policy, I think there's 6 of it. So all of you got your flyers. Later Raja will describe further on this 6 of it, on the policy, whether it suits your heart, that is click to your heart, on this policy matters. Okay, so tonight I think we're going to have few more speakers. So I will pass back the mic to Abu first, temporary, while we are preparing for a second speaker.
All right. Thank you. Very good speakers. Round of applause for Mr. Anthony from Bukit Bintang. Okay, I have to explain a bit. This is the new age of ceramah. There's cameras and there's also people. So it's a bit difficult to actually see us, but please try, because some of them just are looking for others from the comfort of their own homes. So anyways, let's continue back to the ceramah. Sorry, I have to catch my breath. I've been walking around. I myself, my name is Abdul Kas bin Anwar. Let me introduce to you first. My name is Abdul Kas bin Anwar, and I am the Ketua Parlimen of Damansara. But I live in Kelana Jaya all my life. Kelana Jaya SS7. That's where I am from. To me, Bukit Gasing is not some place that is foreign. I come here all the time. That don't tell people in Kelana Jaya, but I think the food here in Bukit Gasing is much more better than in Kelana Jaya. The kway teow is even better. If anyone agree, anyone disagree? You disagree. Are you from Sri? Right, so before we continue on to our next speaker, I would like to naikkan semangat semua orang sikit lah. This is what I do in this party. I naikkan semangat semua orang. I may not be like a policy person or like know the landscape politics, but I am a person who can speak to the person. So I would like to try something, and I would appreciate if you guys follow along. Okay, when I shout happy, I need you guys to reply with mention. Is that okay? Okay, 1, 2, 3, happy? Mention! A bit more louder. I cannot start unless I am satisfied with that. Happy? Mention! Happy? Mention! Happy? Mention! Alright, so the next speaker for our ceramah tonight comes all the way from Perak. I would like to invite Mr. Shuk. Please give a round of applause for Mr. Shuk.
Okay. Hello. Good evening, guys. Wanakam, Dachahau. Alright. So I introduce myself. So my name is Shukri. I'm coming all the way from. Hello. Alright. Okay. There. So I'm coming from Perak. Baru sampai saja tadi. So today I just share lah. Hari ni I datang sini, I tengok jumpa dengan orang-orang happy mention hari ni, I pun betul-betul happy tau. Sebab tengok you all punya sambutan kat hari ni, pada malam ni saya pun memang agak luar biasa. Jadi tolong bagi tepukan guys pada diri anda sendiri. Alright. Okay, boleh? Alright. Okay, so hari ni kita just nak share sikit tentang kita punya hala tuju of MUDA. So, kenapa hari ni MUDA decide untuk bertanding? Before this, you all pun tahu kita bersama dengan rakan kita yang lain, iaitu dengan Pakatan Harapan sebelum ni. So, kenapa sebelum ni kita bersama dengan mereka dan hari ni kita buat keputusan untuk fight sendiri. So, first of all, yang pertama sekali, kita memang selari ataupun bersetuju dengan reformasi yang dilakukan oleh Pakatan Harapan. So, kita juga sependapat dengan mereka. Tapi at the end of the day, apa yang kita nampak? Bila dah menjadi kerajaan, so kita nampak ada hole dekat situ. Ada lopong, ada kelompongan dekat situ. Ada kekurangan yang tak dapat deliver, tak dapat direformkan oleh kerajaan pada hari ini. Jadi kerana itu, hari ini kalau kita tengok kita punya pengurusi kita, presiden kita iaitu YB Sheikh Saddiq dan YB Amira yang sebelum ni duduk di kursi empuk dipanggil. Duduk di kursi yang selesa dengan kerajaan hari ini, tapi buat satu keputusan berat untuk bertanding alone hari ini. Kerana apa? Kerana kita masih nak meneruskan reformasi, agenda reform kita yang kita perjuangkan, iaitu politik baru, politik apa? Politik kerja, politik apa kita punya? Politik khidmat, politik khidmat. So ini yang kita bawakan, ini yang kita teruskan. Sebab apa? Sebab macam tadi saya cakap, kita nampak ada sedikit kelompongan. Before this, saya beritahu, antaranya adalah kalau dulu government dulu ataupun Pakatan Harapan dulu awal-awal melaungkan reformasi untuk apa? Untuk semua MP atau ahli-ahli parlimen mendapat peruntukan yang sama rata. Betul. So, sebagai pembangkang dia cakap apa? So, pembangkang pun mesti ada hak untuk dapatkan peruntukan. Sebab kita nak deliver kepada rakyat. Peruntukan tu untuk siapa? Bukan untuk MP. Peruntukan tu adalah rakyat-rakyat susah di kawasan masing-masing. Betul? Dan hari ni kalau you all hari ni ada masalah, you all akan jumpa siapa? Akan jumpa wakil rakyat. Betul? Tapi kalau wakil rakyat tak ada peruntukan, macam mana nak bagi? So that's why Pakatan Harapan fight. Fight untuk dapat apa? Hak sama rata dari segi peruntukan. Sebab mereka telah dipilih sebagai wakil rakyat mereka. Tapi what happen now? Waktu Ismail referendum untuk semua wakil rakyat dapat peruntukan yang sama rata. Tetapi sekarang hanya parti kerajaan yang dapat peruntukan. Dan hari ini kerajaan pembangkang tak dapat peruntukan. So, what's going on dengan rakyat-rakyat yang mengundi di kawasan pembangkang? Adakah mereka takkan boleh minta peruntukan daripada YB atau minta bantuan daripada YB masing-masing? Betul? Jadi, kerana inilah di antaranya yang kita perjuangkan. Kalau dulu di side pembangkang, kenapa you all minta untuk sama rata peruntukan? Tapi bila dah jadi government, you all sendiri tukar balik sistem tu. Yang mana yang beri manfaat pada mereka, memberi manfaat kepada government, so they will do. Tapi yang tak beri manfaat kepada mereka, mereka tak laksanakan. So ini yang kita nampak, something wrong happen. This is not reform. This is not reformasi. This is about what? This is about, kalau bagi keuntungan kepada kita, then kita akan buat. It's not fair. Ini bukan polisi yang kita perjuangkan. Ini bukan polisi yang kita nak tegakkan. Seperti mana? Ada kawan saya tanya dengan saya, MUDA, before this, we have fight for undi 18. Tapi you all tak frust ke? Dia orang kata. Sebab bukan semua budak-budak umur 18 undi dengan MUDA. So, I cakap, the answer is, kita bukan fight undi 18 untuk mereka sokong MUDA. Whether dia sokong MUDA or not, we fight for undi 18 untuk bagi apa? Orang-orang muda bersuara. Dan hari ini umur 18 tahun atau bawah 30 tahun, hari ini adalah 50% daripada mereka adalah pengundi. Jadi suara mereka ada value. So that's the thing, that's the policy. Kalau bagi manfaat kepada kita atau tak bagi manfaat kepada kita, benda tu membawa kebaikan, so we'll fight. Bukan pasal kalau peruntukan bagi pada pembangkang, nanti kita akan rugi dan kita stop. It's not fair. It's not the reform. So that's why hari ini MUDA bertindak untuk stand alone. Walaupun kami tahu benda ni bukan senang. Walaupun kami tahu benda ni adalah satu cabaran yang besar. Sebab apa? Sebab MUDA tak ada banyak background politik. MUDA tak banyak dana. Jadi adakah kalau nak bertanding dalam politik, nak ceburkan diri dalam politik, you need money. You kena banyak duit baru you boleh join politik. You kena banyak pengalaman baru you boleh join politik. That's why one of 2% yang king dekat atas tu, diorang confident diorang je yang akan main game this game. Diorang percaya takkan ada orang yang boleh hit them. Tak boleh ada orang yang ambil mereka turun bawah. Tak mungkin. Sebab mereka ada money, mereka ada power, mereka ada experience. So, ini yang MUDA cuba buktikan. Sebab tu hari ni, saya turun hari ni, kawan-kawan kita muda-muda semua turun hari ni, berjumpa dengan tuan-tuan, puan-puan hari ni. Kerana apa? Kerana kita minta tuan-tuan dan puan-puan cuba buktikan, politik is not about Zahid Hamidi. Politik is not about Anwar Ibrahim. Politik is not about Muhyiddin Yassin. It's not about them only. It's about us. Hala tuju kita. Apa yang kita nak bawa pembaharuan dekat kawasan Happy Mansion kita ni. Sebab apa? Sebab agak kelakar juga bila saya ada tengok some video baru-baru ni, just 2-3 days ago, saya tengok ada calon daripada some parti yang bila reporter tanya, I follow up sikit pasal reporter, because before this I just let you know, before this saya juga berkhidmat sebagai reporter before lah. So after that, then banyaklah cerita dia. So now just doing a business. So bila I tengok kawan-kawan I pun, dia orang tanya dengan candidate, apa you punya manifesto untuk this election, untuk this PRN. Dia jawab apa? Dia kata, manifesto I tak bagi tahu lagi. I akan bagi tahu after PRN. After PRN dia bagi tahu. So reporter tanya, why? Kenapa you tak nak bagi tahu you punya manifesto dulu? Oh, dia kata, kalau I bagi tahu manifesto, dia kata, nanti kalau I tak boleh deliver, so I the same like YB before, dia kata. So you mean, you nak bertanding, dan you memang tak nak buat apa like YB before lah. So that's why lah you tak bagi tahu you punya manifesto, right? Manifesto is about what? Manifesto is about apa you punya promise nak deliver. So you don't over promise lah. You just bagi promise yang you boleh deliver, then you will make sure you deliver. So and then itulah manifesto. So now you tak mention apa manifesto. Bila nak repair ni jalan contohnya, bila you nak buat ni, I ada janji mana ada janji punya. Betul tak? So ini orang yang, itulah saya cakap, at least kan, walaupun kita orang-orang muda mungkin tak berapa pandai, tak berapa expert sangat pasal politik, tapi we know how to work, how to do the work. Last time, banjir sebagainya, you all already know. Muda adalah antara yang ke depan memberi bantuan. Yes, of course, YB is not about that. YB is not just helping people. Yes, I agree that. But, itulah yang paling penting sebenarnya, betul? Kalau YB just pergi sana parlimen, pergi sana kalau kita cerita DUN hari ni, pergi sana DUN hari ni dan duduk diam, tekan laptop, bangun pun tak, and then dia cakap, oh, I fight for polisi rakyat. Ini polisi apa?
Mengantuk.
Kan? So that's why. So macam saya, okay, memang actually I'm from Perak. So you all I think pun ramai yang tahu bagaimana politik, culture politik dekat negeri Perak. Perak tak payah PRN guys. Selangor perlu PRN, Perak tak payah. Sebab kita suka-suka dia tukar punya menteri besar, suka-suka punya. Bila kita tak suka, every time we can change. We tak pilihan raya. Betul. Sudah berapa kali tukar menteri besar dekat sana. Dan apa result? Apa berlaku dekat Perak? Tak ada apa-apa perkembangan. Nothing happen. Semua masih sama. Sampah pun tak boleh kutip lagi. Konsesi masih lagi kroni dan sebagainya. Because why? Just tukar suka sama suka saja. I tukar you follow my suggestion Then I recommend to you untuk jadi menteri. Okay. Then you follow me lah. Like that lah. That's the way lah. Dekat Perak I cakap betul punya. Because why? I also the part of before this lah. I pernah involve. So I cakap I am reporter. So every sidang DUN I masuk dalam dewan. Every sidang DUN I masuk dalam dewan. I shoot everything. Dan I tengok YB sana. So only few YB yang bangun dan bercakap like YB Amira kita. Tolong bagi tepukan guys untuk kita punya YB Amira. Calon daripada muda di Johor. Dia antara YB yang hyper, yang aktif dalam sidang DUN. Dan tak ramai YB yang macam tu. Ada YB yang just buat lawak bodoh saja. Really I cakap. Like YB yang betul-betul no brain ni I cakap lah. Sorry to say lah. Betul I cakap. Even I'm a reporter, I tell you, when I asking a question pasal everything lah dekat YB tu, my question is different dan I nak tunggu dia punya answer. Half hour pun belum dapat lagi answer. Tapi dia berdiri bila dia mau answer my question, still not answer yet. Tapi sudah half an hour, you know. That's the thing. Saya cakap, this is not about individu. It's not about parti, satu-satu parti. Guys, satu saya beritahu. Kalau dalam satu kedai, I think all of you also tahu, mungkin ada background berniaga sebagainya. Kalau you ada satu kedai, saya bagi contoh lah, kedai runcit lah. Kalau you ada satu orang staff sudah sangat lama, sudah 20 tahun, 30 tahun kerja dekat situ. Kalau itu staff mau mencuri barang dekat you punya kedai, you rasa susah tak dia nak buat? Sangat senang, betul? Sebab apa? Sebab semua dia tahu punya. Mana mau angkat barang, mau keluar pintu mana mau avoid itu CCTV, betul? So, dia boleh curi barang tanpa you as an owner atau majikan tahu itu barang hilang. Dia punya calculation also sharp. Dia boleh buat, dia punya calculation pun tak sharp punya. Magic, the power of magic. So, inilah yang berlaku dalam politik Malaysia. Bila orang yang sama masih mentadbir, orang yang sama masih lead politik, they are too expert untuk cilok without you know. That's the thing. That's why we fight for politik baru. Politik baru is not just about muka-muka baru. Tapi politik baru adalah memperjuangkan kita punya polisi. Kalau kita rasa benda tu relevan, so we'll fight. Whether bersama dengan PH atau bersama dengan PN atau bersama dengan siapa-siapa. Kita bukan cerita sama pendapat atau berbeza pendapat. Kita cerita apa yang kita rasa betul, we will fight. Apa yang kita rasa tak betul, kita akan fight juga. So that's the thing. Macam contoh Sanusi, Menteri Besar Kedah. Bila dia cerita pasal apa? Bila dia cerita pasal dia kutuk pasal Sultan contohnya. MUDA also marah. MUDA also tegur. MUDA also fight. Kita pun tak sokong dia punya. Kalau dia buat salah, mesti kita pancung punya, kita hentam punya. It's not about PH only. PH buat salah, kita hentam punya, mesti punya. Ini terang-terang politik wang. Zahid Hamidi announce dekat Terengganu bagi peruntukan 200 juta kepada Persatuan Belia dengan syarat, dia kata, dengan syarat orang-orang muda mesti mengikut gelombang warna biru dan merah pada 12 hari bulan ni. Is that rasuah or not? Come on, itu budak-budak pun tahu, you all semua pun tahu kan? Sebab apa? Sebab dia bagi penawaran dengan syarat. Is that? Dengan syarat. Dia kata dengan syarat you all ikut gelombang merah dan biru pada 12 hari bulan. So itulah rasuah. Tapi bila kena dekat parti mereka, tanya Anwar Ibrahim, oh itu bukan rasuah, dia kata. Tapi saya percaya kalau Anwar Ibrahim hari ini bukan Perdana Menteri, kalau dia adalah Ketua Pembangkang, dia akan laungkan. Itu rasuah. Kita lawan rasuah. Is that the culture of politics in Malaysia? So that's why we need a new politic, guys. We need you all to support us. Not because Mr. Raja tu handsome. It's not about Mr. Raja tu friendly. It's not about that. It's about MUDA bring a new politic. We bring new politic because why? Because we need to change. Kita nak bawa pembaharuan dekat Malaysia. Kita tak nak lagi old player. The only old player yang main that game. So, kita nak bagi peluang pada orang-orang muda like Mr. Raja pun bukan banyak sangat duit. So, that's why kita jual baju, kita jual payung dekat belakang sana, guys. Minta nanti you all semua boleh sama-sama support. We are the only party yang jual baju parti. Orang lain semua tanya, oi, baju parti bukan free meh? Dia kata, saya pun mau satu, saya pun mau satu. Ini muda jual tak baju? Wah, jual ke? Ada orang beli ke? Siap tanya lagi dengan kita. Because why? Bukan kita tak nak bagi free, bukan itu point dia. Point dia adalah we need the money. Kita tak nak bagi politik orang-orang kaya saja main politik. Kita tak nak macam tu. Kita nak bagi peluang kepada semua. Sama ada dia ada duit, sama ada dia tak ada duit, sama ada dia orang politik ataupun family politik. Ini balik-balik family, balik-balik family, balik-balik family. Bila yang bukan family ni nak duduk sama, nak berubah, nak bawa dasar sama? Is that? Like Syed Saddiq pun banyak kali cakap dah, dia kata, dia bukannya nak jawatan. It's not about jawatan. It's not about kerusi for MUDA. It's about what? It's about discussion to make To make policy government together. Kita juga nak involve untuk create policy. So that's why we'll fight. Kita fight sama-sama. So guys, lagi sekali saya nak minta tuan-tuan, puan-puan pada malam ini balik cuba untuk kita fikirkan sikit, untuk kita ubah sikit kali ni, kerana kita dah tak nak player-player lama sahaja duduk di tampuk politik. So let's change together. Kita bagi peluang kepada orang-orang muda, kita bagi peluang pada muka baru untuk bersama-sama fight dalam this country untuk bawa pembaruan. Alright, tolong bagi tepukan, guys. Okay, so itu saja saya rasa daripada saya. Sehingga kita berjumpa lagi. Bye-bye.
Sebenarnya saya pun terkejut. Saya dah lama kenal dia, tapi ni first time saya dengar dia cakap. Saya tak tahu lah dia cakap macam ni. Ini conclusion. Oh, sorry. Arahan. So guys, people have mentioned thank you so much again for coming. Again, untuk naikkan semangat lagi, let us do our chant. When I say happy, you say mention. Is that okay? Again? Yes. Happy? Mention. Happy? Mention. Happy? Mention. Okay, it's better than before. Better than before. Okay. For us, dekat MUDA, we cannot bring so many MPs to come talk for us. We only have our members, our friends, who have been fighting with us since the beginning. 3 years ago, we all started this party together in a pandemic. We cannot even see each other, and we berjaya untuk start satu party. I would like to invite you guys to think about that for a moment. Is it easy to start a party when you cannot even see each other? Right? But what we can bring to speak, who we can bring to speak with us today are members, senior members. We got one from Perak, now all the way across the sea from Sabah. Our strongman, Mr. Warren Owache.
Okay, just to be clear. Oh, yeah, okay, terima kasih. So, I'll be speaking in English, kepisalangan. Sorry, I don't know most of the languages, but actually my name is Werens. You can call me Weren. That's what they call me in Sabah. Okay, there's no fancy name. So, kita guna nama kampung, nama saya Weren. Just by seeing all these faces, I miss my mom. I haven't been back since December last year. Right? Christmas. Why? Because elections. So, just to introduce myself, I am from a place called Tambunan. I know most of you. Okay, I want to see your hands. Where siapa yang pernah pergi bercuti di Sabah? Was it nice? This is a lot. Almost everybody. Was it nice? Nice, right? But we locals sometimes, we want better, right? Because I've been staying there almost for. Just to be clear, my age is 40. Okay, I'm 40 years old. I look young. Why is this guy with tattoos, long hair, standing here inside? What do you call this? MUDA committee. And I've been here since they started MUDA, before there was a registration. It was so hard for me to join MUDA because my dad is a believer in PBS. Do you guys know what PBS is? Parti Bersatu Sabah. Okay, that is the same equality as UMNO here, right? So my dad was upset when I joined MUDA. Okay, because I wasn't fighting for the rights of the people there. But along the way, I said, one day I'll prove you wrong. Until I spoke about MSCC3 live, and I invited some of the ministers and activists. He called me and said, give me a t-shirt. I'm supporting you, right? I'll get to the point at the end of my message why I'm here and why actually I'm happy to speak for Raja. Because he's like one of those person that we look up to, really look up to, okay? And let's go back to Sabah. So I am from Tambunan. My dad's best friend is also the Adun of Tambunan, that is Jeffrey Tingan. And I stay in Mangatal. Okay? So I know you guys gonna laugh. Mangatal is a real place. Okay? So I stay in Mangatal. Our biggest problem now here at Mangatal is there's no water. Okay? That is 30 minutes from the main city. That is our main issue in Mangatal. Okay, if they have election today, at the same time, election in Sabah at the same time as now, I'll be speaking very loud in Sabah. Okay? And then I'll be speaking about what we don't have, what is a privilege here. And I'm actually happy that they are fighting for your rights to choose your own council. That's what we need in Sabah as well. Okay? Even our Kota Kampung is chosen by, the one ruling party lah. Right? He cannot make decision. Okay? And sometimes when you ask them, let's change something, Ketua Kampung cannot do it without the consent of the YB there. Right? It's so hard to do that as well. That's why I'm actually happy to see that this time we're fighting for local council. And the other part that I'm happy to see MUDA fighting for is pension. You know, pension for the ministers. My dad is a teacher. My mom, she would open a tent and sell baju second hand. Okay, but they give me education. That's why I can speak English. Yeah, it's the common thing. So, my dad, when he started, his wage was 200 something, 240 ringgit as a teacher. And he had to work 38 years to get his pension. Okay? When we do politics in Sabah, you make sure, you not make sure, some of this YB, they have 3 or 4 big cars that cost $500,000. Okay? You know, we call it ninja. Okay? But now they not turun lah. I mean, nowadays they try to be humble, they bring Fortuner lah. But you know, it's still expensive. Okay? So, I'm just saying, the content that we have this time is really good. And this is what we want to fight for. Now, I know you guys are asking, can MUDA do it or not? Just now my friend, my colleague from Perak, right? He said, YB Amira is the best dun that we have. I agree to that, because I'm the chief of staff for YB Amira. I work in JB. Okay? Yes, we have young members. Yes, we have, young candidates. Look at this way, okay? So, if they need help, like when we started MUDA, if someone needed help, they would give someone a call. That is your network. Like me, I can help you guys and guide you guys to be leaders. You guys will never see me around speaking. I mean, this is like the second time after 3 elections. I'll be running around and helping every candidate and campaign managers. Okay? They're mostly 27, under 30 years old. That's why me and Raja and some of the 40-year-old members, we say, I think there's only 7 of us. We are the eldest here. Okay? But I met Madam Lee. Madam Lee is our oldest candidate. She is 59 in Penang. I met her last 2 days. She told me about, you know, women in politics, which is very good. When I met her team, imagine this, they only do 3 or 4 or 5, maximum 5 programs a day. I asked them, what's up? They say, we're all men. All the Jantra is 69 above. I'm like, this is good. So I met them. But they are much more active. They'll just stand up on top of a, Hilak bucket, start giving speeches. You see, they're still fighting for MUDA. And the youngsters, sometimes I tell them, look, if they can do it, we can do it better. We have to tell them, kita ada tenaga. We have this energy to do. Right? And then I'm actually pushing more people to be candidate for PRU. There will be more. Because they're learning. This is everybody that you see giving out speeches, all this people running around, arranging the chairs. They're actually very professional. That is the network that we have. And sometimes we call out to the members, like, you know, Rakyat Biasa and everybody else. Sometimes if you don't like that one particular person, look at the next person. Because we are like the extended family of everybody. We will help everybody. Okay? And this is how I became Amira's chief of staff. I believe sometimes, one of our staff, she come into the office one day for interview. She said, I don't know anything about servicing the community. The only thing that you need to do when you service is listen first. That is the most important thing. Listen and then do a decision. Meaning to say, find out what you can help her by not promising too much. That is how we move for Dun Amira. She'll be coming later to speak as well. I don't think she's hearing me speaking or anything like that. I hope I don't mention anything wrong. Right? And after this election, right, there will be election for Sabah, 2025. And during that time, MUDA also sedia untuk turun. And now we are already prepping 10 candidates to go, including me. Okay, I'll be going. I don't think I should say it live. Later they'll be prepared. But I'll be going to either one, my mom's place or my dad's place. I think I already gave the message out. But, okay, you see I'm a bit tired. I was awake since 6 this morning to help out all our candidates from Kuala Kubu Baru, which I'm actually happy to see. 3 hours we visited 400 houses, and the reception is good. I'm not trying to sell this very big, but the reception was good. Then I went to Batu Tiga. We met around 2,000 people. So I mean, everybody is trying their best. It's not about the edge. It's about, are you capable or not? That is the most important thing. So Raja, make sure untuk group 40 you win. Okay? Thank you so much. Oh wait, they asked me to say this pantun. We always say this pantun during PRU in Sabah. Buah mengkudu, buah nanas, bikin panas. Silap. Buah mengkudu, buah nanas, sudahlah budu, bikin panas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Warren. Actually, there's not much difference between Warren and us. Even he comes from Megatal, and Megatal there's no water in Megatal. We also don't have water sometimes. So there's not much difference. That's why me and Warren we can connect. Sometimes we don't have water. Alright, for the next speaker, I think he will be a testament of the youth in MUDA. He is my colleague from MUDA Gombak. I am from MUDA Damansara, he's from MUDA Gombak. And I would like to present him to speak to you today. I would like to welcome Mr. Ashraf Fahmi. Are you around? Oh, there you are, Mr. Ashraf Fahmi, our Chief of Mahasiswa.
How many minutes?
Huh?
How many minutes?
Hi
Hi everyone. Good evening. Tashahau. Vanakkam. Here. Okay. Okay, don't hold on. Thank you. So, the first question I asked Abul was, how long can I talk? Because usually when I start talking, I would usually drag the time. I would talk about everything. Yeah, young people, they have lots of energy, and I think I do carry that too. So, I think just now my car broke down. I just came back from Shah Alam helping our Chalun there in Shah Alam. My car broke down suddenly and I have to take Grab here. But I think it's wonderful as young people and also as a young, let's say politician, I guess so, since I'm in a political party. So to see my uncles and aunties here supporting our candidate in Bukit Gasing, and I think this is a good reception and a good sign that MUDA is receiving a good attention, and I think it's a good sign for MUDA itself. Thank you. So uncles and aunties, as a young people, or just now, Abul mentioned that I'm a mahasiswa. Not literally a mahasiswa, I'm like on my final year and I'm going to graduate soon. The first thing that I did when I arrived at this place was, I searched on Google, how can I get to KLCC from here? I think that's the first thing that I would think of if I were, if I come to one place, my mobility, my car just broke down. So how do I move around? So yeah, the first thing I did was I opened up a Google map and then I searched KLCC. And you know how long does it take for me to reach KLCC from here? 1 hour, 6 minutes. That's the fastest. I think you can double check on Google. But you know what's the worst part? Uncle, auntie, if you want to go to the nearest MRT, you have to walk 20 minutes, if me, I can think lah. The nearest one is Video Damansara, right? Yeah. If I am at my age, maybe I can consider lah. But I don't think it's necessary for uncles and aunties to walk 20 minutes just to go to the nearest MRT station. How are you going to meet your son and daughter at KL, right? Yeah. Or meet your friends, if I live here, how am I going to go dating and bring my girlfriend to KLCC? Feeder bus. Oh, got feeder bus here. Oh, don't know, but don't know where it's coming. So at 12 PM, you stand in front of here, under the sun and wait for the bus to come. Wow. Or 1 hour. No bus stop. So we just pray to God that the bus will come one day. I like the enthusiasm. No shades, no chair. You pray it doesn't rain. If it rains, then you become Diwali. Bring your own bangku. I think we can sell bangku after this, no? Got MUDA sign? MUDA, yes. We can fundraise using that. Oh yeah, we got umbrella already. So we have like a public transport kit. So we sell a bangku, we sell umbrella. MUDA solve problems, you know. But I think what I'm trying to talk about is, we have, I think one of the biggest lines of public transport. We have LRT, we have MRT, and we are waiting for LRT 3. We are waiting for another line for MRT. But the problem is accessibility. Right.
Last mile transport.
Last mile transport, that's the word. And I think it is a very simple thing for you to put a GPS in the bus and link it to Google Maps so that you can see when the bus is coming. You know, even, I think you all can run for candidate lah, let's go. You see, if we can think about it, what is the problem that we still can't have those kind of things until today? Yes, exactly. Time is money. Time is gold. So that's why uncle and aunties, it is a small thing, but that small thing could give a huge impact to one person. You don't have to gamble yourself every day waiting for the bus to come. Gamble with the weather. It is gonna rain or it's gonna be hot all the day. That peace of mind, that how much you can save your time, and that small action can bring a lot of difference. And imagine if this kind of initiative, these small actions are being done in your constituent in Bukit Gasing. And this is what we are working for. Because one of the manifestos that I think Raja is offering is a place for all ages. Either you are young, either you are old. The environment, the constituent needs to be friendly for everyone. Because you can expect everyone to have a car. You can expect everyone to have a motorcycle. Like me, one day a car broke down, then you have to take Grab. It's money, right? So, at the end of the day, when I'm being in MUDA, one of the big aspirations that I can see and that I can preach is we go to the details. We go to the smaller things that matters to the people. And this is the biggest value. Yes, Auntie?
So what are all the Grab drivers going to do if we have this connectivity?
No lah, Auntie. The Grab driver will still get money. You don't have to worry about that.
Depends on urgency.
Yeah, depends on urgency. But good question lah, Auntie. Good question.
So you must have a program to upgrade them.
Exactly.
Ask them to drive the bus.
Ask them to drive the bus. Yeah. Yes. But you see, we know a lot of young people that they are into this gig economics. Yeah, they do Grab, they do Food Panda, and we know that some of them rely on this kind of thing for a living.
But it's a very short term.
Exactly. And the recent announcement by the Ministry of Economic, the data about wages in Malaysia. We see like a lot of young people are earning less than 2,000. And that when we are still having a minimum wage of 1,500, it's really worrying, especially when you are living in Kuala Lumpur. So, back to the topic where solving the smallest issues in the constituent. I think that even if it is the smallest thing, you know that in a state constituent, we have local council. Do you know who your ahli majlis, your local council before? Your councillors? She doesn't even live here. That one I cannot say anything lah. I refuse to comment. But yeah, uncles and aunties, one of the things that we advocate in MUDA to have local council elections. Yes. Why? Because local councillors, they act as a medium between the state policies to the people who live in that constituent. For example, you want to open up a pasar malam, you need to get the approval from Majlis Perbandaran. You want to open up a kedai here, you need to get license from Majlis Perbandaran. So, like all the longkang here around your place, the trash and so on, all is done and being served by the councillors. But what's going to happen if at the end of the day, these people are not even being elected by you? They are being appointed by the state government. So you know, at the end of the day, people use these local councillors as a method for them to put their people to take care of their constituent. I don't care you are from there or not, I want to put my people there. That's not right. When you want to lead a place, even a small place, come on, even like club rukun tetangga, you have election, you choose people. Even in school, in primary school, you want to choose a class monitor, you also elect what? Then you want to run a local council, you don't want to elect. Then you say you're a democratic country. So that is one of the vision that MUDA wants to bring. When we want to put our voices inside the state assembly, we advocate so that local council have election, so that the people that take care of your well-being, that take care of your neighborhood, of your community, are the people who you know, are the people who you elect, are the people who you put trust in.
And this election commission or what election, they will be in charge of this thing. Is it local?
No.
So when it comes to the actual election,
Yeah.
who will be in charge of the election process?
Okay. So, of course, when we are holding a local council election, just like the state election and just like the general election, we're going to have a separate entity that is going to handle this election. And that will be managed by the government and how it's going to be handled. But at the end of the day, the spirit of democracy must be deepened, not just from the federal, not just to the state, but also deeper into the local council election. So that uncles and aunties, I don't want anyone from outside your constituency suddenly become local council, don't know what's the problem, and they just come here, take their allowance and go back home.
Makan tidur.
Wah, makan tidur. But we don't want that, and I don't want that too. Because I tell you, I never know who my local council is. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, uncles and aunties, I know that you have been living here for so long, you have your children, you have your grandchildren here. So this is the time where the power is in your hand. Like Thanos, right? Like Avengers, Superman, whatever lah. So this is the time where the power is in your hand. And as a young people, I aspire and I hope that you can convert this power and give it to the right person who will continuously advocate for the right thing and for your own well-being. And he is Raja, he is from MUDA, and he is running for Bukit Gasing. Vote him on 12 August. Thank you so much.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, korang semua, you all have heard from party members from Gombak, from Perak, from Sabah. But now I would like to invite a supporter. He's not really a member, he's a supporter. And he will tell you what he has to tell you. I don't know what he's going to say. He will tell you about, you will hear from, not from us, but just a supporter who will talk to you about this election and MUDA. So I would like to invite Mr. Tony Gomez, who is also a PJ person. Please give a round of applause.
Okay, kudos to all of you for being here. Why are you here? You're here to stand up for your rights. Okay? Now, I believe that you don't stand up for your rights, and if people step on you and put you down, you don't have a right to complain, because you didn't stand up for your rights in the first place. So, by being here, putting an effort, being in the know about politics, you're making a small step towards standing up for your rights. Okay? Now, talking about MUDA, now I'm a senior guy, I'm 55, and when MUDA first came into the picture a number of years ago, I thought, wow, it's a very young party, inexperienced, very young people. How can they lead the nation and things like that, right? But if you see MUDA's ideals, the ideas that they have, they're very idealistic, right?
Aggressive.
And we all know as seniors that we don't live in an idealistic world, right? And as we age, we come to accept what is less ideal, right? We tend to compromise, right? Now, the advantage of young people is they are new in the world. They haven't been corrupted yet, put it plain and simple, okay? They're new in the world and they have very idealistic ideas. Now, if these people with these attitudes are given a chance to be in power, they would bring that with them. So why not? If they need guidance, if they need experience, there will be people they can just pick up the phone and call, right? They could call you, sir, and ask you for advice or whatever. There are many smart and experienced people around them who could guide them. But what we want is honesty in leadership. And that is what MUDA can bring. Okay? So let's see, I don't want to miss out any points here. Okay? It's the most inclusive party. If you look at everyone here, you'll find a lot of Chinese, a lot of Indians, a lot of Malays. If you go to any one of the other parties, you will find that one particular race tends to dominate. So that's one plus point of MUDA. Okay? Now my talk is going to be very, very short. I'm going to end very soon. And the last most important thing is a lot of people realize that PH, they have compromised on their values for practical reasons. We know that they have compromised on their values because they have to sleep with the devil. Okay, it's a dirty world. They have to be dirty to be on top of the game. We all understand that, right? Now, the thing is, a lot of people feel, okay, so if we vote for MUDA, we're splitting the vote. That's the worry that a lot of people have. Am I right? Okay. Now, MUDA, the leadership of MUDA, because I've spoken to them about this issue myself, now Gasing, PN does not have a chance in hell of winning, right? Then they're never going to win in Gasing. Never. So it doesn't matter if they split the vote. You get what I mean? So then, if you notice, MUDA is not contesting in any cliffhanger seat where by splitting the vote, there might be a danger of PN winning. Then MUDA is not doing that. MUDA is not naive. They're not doing that. What MUDA wants to do is to show that they are a power to be, someone to be reckoned with, someone that should be brought to the negotiation table so that they can be an effective opposition. And they have proven to be so far, like, with the PJ Deling, they have managed to get that cancelled, the new highway through PJ, right? Undi 18, MUDA had a lot to do with that. A lot of things that they have done as they have been in the past. Now, if they, in these state elections, they can prove that they have a lot of ground support, right? They will be taken more seriously, and even more issues. For example, the GPS in the bus, they can bring more things to the table and have a voice and be an effective opposition to improve things, right? And MUDA is a very idealistic party, which it's not entirely practical in politics to be too idealistic. You have to play a dirty game. Everybody knows that, right? So a lot of people may think of MUDA as perhaps being naive, right? But isn't an ideal government something to aspire to? It's something that we would all love. Whether it's possible or not is a separate thing. It's something that we would like to aspire to, yes? Yeah. So why not? Just put it out there. MUDA is putting it out there. Okay, these are our ideals. Our ideals. We want this. We want fairness. We want equal representation. We want all this. They put it out there. Maybe one day, by putting it into the psyche of the population, of the youth, maybe one day it could become a reality. Why not? aspire to it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tony. Right, I am so happy that you guys are still here. I am really unhappy. Every time after each speaker, I will check. Everybody's still here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So for tonight, we still have 3 more speakers, including our YB, Amira Aisyah, who came all the way from Johor to Terengganu to Bukit Gasing to give her support to Raja. But before that, we're going to listen to a few more people. And I would like to add a bit to what they say, just a little bit. When people said to us, how can we trust MUDA to do what they say they want to do? I tell you this from my bottom of my heart. The reason why you can trust us to do things that we say to do, because we are part of the people as well. Macam the bus situation, I use the bus every day. And there are days where the bus doesn't come. Doesn't come at all. It's just like the bus give up. So that is why I joined MUDA. That is why the people are in MUDA, because we are fed up with the situation in the country, and we joined an organization that will allow us to voice out our frustration. So for the next speaker, all the way from Seputeh. It's not that far. I say all the way from Seputeh, but it's not that far really. The Ketua Parlimen of Seputeh, Mr. Jivan Kupusami.
Hey guys, thank you for the warm welcome. Yes, hello. All right. As I've been introduced, I'm Jivan. I'm not Raja, so that the head may confuse you. Raja is not as good looking as I am. Yeah, he's better looking actually. All right, please give it up a big round of applause to all of you to spend your Saturday night listening to wannabe politicians, okay, telling you what our aspirations are, what we are looking at, all right? Now, I'm the Parliament head for Seputeh constituency. So if you want to know what it means, is that the DAP equivalent of me is Teresa Kok. All right? She's even better looking than me. All right? Now, just want to ask you all something, all right? And for the viewers at home, please ponder this question in you. Why are you sitting here right now, listening to us talking to you? All right? We have an incumbent who has been holding the position for a very long time in Bukit Gasing. And, you know, you can see the posters, the achievements being plastered everywhere, but is it enough? Is it actually addressing the right thing, what the people want? Now, I'm a PJ boy, right? I've lived throughout my life in PJ, even though now I'm staying in Taman Yal, Seputeh. Right? I studied in Lasal PJ, primary, secondary. And now my my son, 9 years old, is actually studying in Lasal PJ as well. I hang out in PJ, right, with my friends, go to restaurants. In fact, with the happy mention, I've been many times here when I was working in an office in Wisma Kemajuan, also in PJ, all right? So PJ holds very close to my heart, right? It is where I want to be. You know, I always call this as the perfect neighborhood for anyone to live, right? And Jalan Gasing and everything is, I have traversed throughout this place during my younger days, and you know, now it is not so safe, if you ask me, right? Why is it not safe? One of the reforms that MUDA is always championing for is local elections. What does it mean? And why is it important for Selangor to be the catalyst for local elections? Now, you must understand something, right? Anything that happens in Selangor reverberates throughout the country. Anything that happens in Selangor first gets replicated in the other parts of the country in other states. Now, we do not have any local elections in any of the states at all. So why can't Selangor be the first to push for this agenda? What it means to all of you is, you know, if you need to have someone working for you, you have the right to choose for them. You have the right to determine what is the amount of work that is needed in your neighborhood. All right? You are paying for your house, you are paying for the road, you are paying for the taxes and everything. But when it comes to the maintenance, the basic infrastructure, you do not have any say in it. It is made, the decision is made on higher ups. So this is the reason why local elections is a must, and the power must be with you, not the people higher up on them. All right? Now this is time and again we have been saying this, time and again we have been championing this. But why do they are insisting on not implementing this? Please ask yourself this question.
Cronyism.
Exactly. Cronyism is one of the main killer of our livelihood and our loved ones' livelihood. All right? We are not asking them to give us the contract directly. Be more transparent in your appointment. It has to be based on merit, not someone whom I know. Right? This is very, very important. Now, the next thing is, why MUDA? Why is MUDA championing this? Because we are much more closer to the general public. None of us here are former politicians or from a former political background or a family of politicians at all. We are coming up, stepping up, questioning the powers that be, and we are questioning the people who are so-called knowledgeable in what they want to do for us. We are telling them, listen to us. And when we talk, we get slammed, saying that you are very immature. Does this face look immature to you at all, in any way? Does this face look like MUDA to you? Alright? Right? I'm already halfway into the Tua category already. Alright? But I'm still with Party MUDA. It's very simple. Alright? The basic necessity must be answered and must be achieved before we talk about huge reforms everywhere. When we fail in the grassroots level, we are failing at the district state level itself. So you must be able to decide who do you think will be the right person to take your concerns, your grouses, your wants and your needs, okay, to be implemented back for you. This is what many of the politicians forget. We are not here to play politics. We are here to serve the people. All right? I've been in a corporate industry for many years, and I've been doing work with the former government, all right, contractor for the government, but of course, it's through merit law, all right? It's not very easy for people like me to go and get contract from the government, right? Started off from the bottom rung. Never wanted to be political, always stood a fence sitter, right? But it came to a point when after I became a father, I started asking myself a question. My late father was fighting for equality in many ways. And he died before he achieved any of it. He died before seeing the government changing. All right? Now, do I want to be the same? Do I want to be Pak Turut? Okay? Shake my head, listen to this is what it's supposed to be, and just move on with life? No. I need to be able to ensure that for my kids, the generation after me, even if it is not the utopia that I have envisioned, it should be a place and a community that he'll be happy to live in. That's when you will not have brain drain that is happening in this country. People are leaving. If we talk to 90% of the older generations, they have lost their hope. Is it true or not? Please answer me this. Is it true? Yes. Most of them have lost hope. Because the one that we rejected is bad. The one that came to replace them is almost now looking like equally bad. There's no difference. It is like you took from the from the right pocket and put it in your left pocket. It is the same stock. Why? Because the reforms that was promised has never been implemented. They are saying they will implement it, but when? Are we going to wait for the next election for them to do this? No. So if at all the particular person who has been in charge of Dun Bukit Gasing have been doing a fantastic job, I really wonder what all of you are doing here right now. Please ask yourself this question. Now, how can we change this equation of power? How can we change the current situation? Now, I can safely assume there's about 50, 60, almost 100 people here right now, right? Let's assume that you are going to vote for MUDA. All you have to do is talk to 2% in your family. Tell them what is the manifesto of Raja's manifesto. what is MUDA's needs. And those two people will go and talk to more people. This is the best way that we can do. We do not have banners, buntings for enough money for us to do everywhere. And we are doing it in the basic way which we feel is the right thing to do, which is ensuring that your confidence is assured by voting for us. Alright? So with that, you will be able to have Raja standing in and serving for you for the next 5 years. So ladies and gentlemen, with that allocated time for me, thank you so much. Okay. I thought he cut me off. Alright. See you and I'll pass it back to Abul. Thanks.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's just go on through. The next speaker will be the calon that I worked for during the PRU. A teacher, they call Cikgu Ayu. She is the fighter for the stateless children. Her work is inspiring. She built a school. She left the school system in Malaysia. She left a guaranteed salary to start a school for children, Malaysian children, who cannot go to school because they do not have an IC. And there are a lot of them. Once I joined MUDA, I got to see Malaysia, I got to see my country, and I've seen so many people without ICs, and they are local people. They are Malay, they are Chinese, they are Indian, and they don't have IC. And they can only depend like people like Cikgu Ayu to fight for their rights, to teach them, to educate them. And I would like to present Cikgu Ayu to come to the stage and talk to you today.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Tan Chahal. Good evening, everyone. I am actually not a good orator. I'm not a good political orator. I'm a teacher by profession before this, right? I ran in last PRU in Tanjung Karang, but I lost, obviously, right? But so I'm one of the co-founder of MUDA as well. What I do is that I actually jump into politics as a result of being scammed by our Timbalan president. She's at the back, Amira Aisha, and also our president, Wabi Said Sadiq. They scam me. Trust me on that, okay? Scammer. The biggest scammer ever. Okay, so there's this one day that Amira called me. Cikgu, I want to visit your school. I have a school in Chowkit. So when I first started the school, right, it is like, you know, if you guys know Chowkit, there's a lot of soup kitchen around. There's a lot of soup kitchen. Malaysians are so generous. We wouldn't left anyone, you know, on an empty stomach, right? But when I went there, right, I figured out there's a lot of children queuing for food every night. But what we want to do with the children, so at that time, right, we brought like bag of IKEA bags of books, right? And we start reading with the children. And then from bags, it turns into boxes of books. And then I don't know, somehow, then it become classes for the children on the street at night at that time. But the children were so enthusiastic. They came every night, every Friday night and every Sunday night. And that somehow, you know, sparked something in me. I was a teacher at that time, in a government school. I thought this is something that I want to do for my life, you know. This is something that I want to be part of. And I don't know, somehow, we figure out there's children who cannot attend that school. So for example, we went to some school, we went to a lot of jabatan here and there, right, trying to enroll our children in school. Everybody saying no, cannot because of documentation issue. This will create a problem, blah, 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 blah. And then we was like, never mind. You don't allow us, our children, to go to school, we build our own school. So that's the best solution for that. As you guys know, I'm a school teacher, so my salary was really small. It started with 0 cents. But I have to thank right now, ala ni macam advertisement dah pula but I really have to say this. I really need to thank Julie's Biscuit, right? I remember when we first decided to start our school, right? Because the chairman of Julius Biscuit came and volunteer in our back alley in Chowkit, you know, and they were so humble. They did not introduce who they are seriously. I thought it was only, you know, old Chinese uncle and old Chinese auntie, you know, wearing shirts like Chinese uncle and Chinese auntie right now. And suddenly we were called for a dinner. And I brought our people. They were flipping through our proposal to open up a school, and then they turned to me, Cikgu, we're going to fund your rental for 2 years. And I was like, wow, that can happen, right? So miracle do happen. So when Amira Aisha, when they call me, Cikgu, we want to have an idea of having a movement. She said movement. I remember that word. Because I was being apolitical since the beginning. I'm just a teacher, NGO worker, even though I graduated as a political science student. I have a master in political science from the National Islamic University Malaysia. But I was never interested in politics. I was really interested in, you know, ensuring that every children in Malaysia got a proper platform. The equal opportunity to education, access to education, that's what matters. So, okay, movement, I was like, okay, let us talk more on that. And then we have, you know, few of our discussion and everything. And I don't know, somehow, somewhere, they say, let us make a political party. And I was like, oh my God. But I was like, I am 42 years old this year, right?
42, yeah.
And I never imagined that I would be joining a political party. I'm from Kedah, you know, from the northern state. And you know, northern, right now, you know the sound, right? What kind of political party that's really big in the north? And I somehow, and I called my parents. I want to join a political party. I want to co-found a political party. And my mother, they call me Along because I'm the first in my family. They say this. There's nothing more shocking of what you want to do, because the last time that I quit my public servant work, my mother said, what else like craziness that you want to do, you know? So, and one of the craziness that I did was that co-founded MUDA with all these amazing people. And we are here today fielding another of our candidate in this election. And in this election, right, MUDA fielded 53% of women running in this election. No political party have committed to that. And our young ladies who ran in this election is never a token. 23 years old Melanie Ting, right, is the most hardworking candidate I ever met. I went to her campaign in Antarabangsa, and I was reflecting. The day that I finished having our walkabout, right, I called my friend Aini Hazika. She's not here yet. She's in a wedding right now, right, with her beautiful baju, I believe. I called Aini crying. I said that Aini, if I am Melanie, right, I wouldn't be able to do this. No funding, lack of machinery, but she's still holding up, you know, she's still up to this. I'm so proud of Melanie. I'm a crybaby in the party. I always cry. A mother, right? Yeah. But these are the things that we want to do. And why is it Amira and Sadiq, right, managed to scam me? Because one of the things that they promised me is that, Cikgu, we would want to fight in this fight of equal education opportunity to every children. That is their promise to me. And this is what we are fighting for. Some of my children in Buku Jalanan, right, are stateless children. Why? Because some of their fathers are Malaysians, but their mothers are not. You know, if you say love is love, right, why can't a person marry someone who they choose, and then if they give birth to that child cannot inherit their father citizenship just because. But yeah, sometimes I don't agree as well, because you know someone throw me these things like, Rahayu, what if your husband have an affair with somebody else and give birth? Do you want to give that child his citizenship? I say yes, I would, because that's not the fault of the child. That's the fault of the father. We should go for the father, right? Sorry, all father here. But that's what we want to do. I think, right, Parti MUDA, we are really committed to the idea of equal educations for every children, right? Equality is what matters. I saw today, right, I don't speak about people in any of my ceramah, but today I saw one brave girl in the news trying to ask for the equality of educations in Malaysia. Why some, right, when they get good result, but because of their race, they can get entry, easy entry like other people. And when she was taught, and right now, when I saw the video, I was like, what happened to the girl? What happened to her self-confidence now? What happened to the loud voice that she had? I saw her reading, I think it is all over the internet, I don't want to mention it, but if you guys are on the internet, maybe you can see it. She was holding a paper, trying bravely asking question, why is it her friend, her Indian friend, which got 7A and 1B, did not get enrollment to matriculations, government matriculation places, but why some did not? Why some, right? For example, why Malay can get easy access even though the result is not good? I think this is about time that education's rights is given to the poorest. Because, right, when we draw policy that serve the most marginalized in this country, then everyone will live a good life. It is about the livelihood of everyone. So policies drawn, right, should not be race-based, but it should be need-based. That's what Parti MUDA is fighting for. And as Malay Muslim myself, right, I believe by doing that, we are not taking the right of anyone. We are not. We are not. We are actually upholding what Islam teaches us. Equality above all, to everyone. You know, MUDA, right, as a party, we have hiccups here and there. We are small. We are not that strong. But we would need a support and, you know, a hand, a shoulder for us to grow and build this country together. I know that these kind of speeches, this kind of setting has been promises by many. But some say that I didn't heard any policy being drawn by MUDA. I did not heard any good thing from MUDA. MUDA is not promising anything. But what we can promise you guys, right, we are trying our best to find the best leader to come. And best leader, right, is always the kind, empathetic and compassionate leaders. That is what missing actually. We want leaders who can speak very well, orate very well, talk very well. But what about the sincerity? So that is why we are having this incidents of leaders, feudalistic style of leadership, yes. I remember one of our candidates asked us, when we asked them to declare our assets, she said this to me, Cikgu, what if people see my assets and people would say that, this people, how to help us? You know, the Scandinavian country, right? I think why is it Scandinavian country are the most, I think Norway got among the safest country to live in, something like that. Because, right, their leaders are the public servant. They give service. In fact, in Malaysia, Our leaders are our public servant. They need to give services. But see how we treated, we're still feudalistic in nature. Still how we treated our leaders. They are our rock star. They are like, you know, the moons that we like, oh, like that. This is the occurrence that happened everywhere. He didn't allow me to speak anymore. He said that, cikgu, cut cikgu, cut cikgu. Sambung, sikit lagi abol. I want to talk about Raja also before I drag my story. But whatever it is, right, everyone, I assure you, MUDA will continue fight for the right of children. That is what I can assure. And YB Amira Aisha also, I believe, is in this fight together, right, YB? Yes. Because the children's matter to us so much, right? And right now they are in the process of having this constitutional amendment on citizenship, which MUDA are involved in it. Because we want, right, this amendment, if it's to be passed, it should serve the best interest of the child. No children is a security threat. If children did not get a good education, then they will be a security threat. Yes. So dear voters of Bukit Gasing, Raja, right? Yalah, dia senyum manis kan? Tapi he is the most soft-spoken person I met in MUDA. He might not be Syed Sadin who speak like ba, sir, no. He is a soft-spoken person. But I know Raja is not a career politician. He built himself, his family built him. And I think right now, right, he owed that to the country, to the nation, for him to serve the country. So with a humble heart, right, I, Cikgu Rahayu, ask all the voters of Bukit Gasing to give Raja a chance, to allow him to represent you and speak on behalf of you. With that, right, 12th August, vote for Raja. Thank you very much, everyone.
I would like to give an acknowledgement to Cikgu Ayu. I was with her every second of the campaign in Tanjung Karang. It was a kampung. I didn't even have line. But we managed to get 13,000 votes from Tanjung Karang. Alright, people of Happy Mansion, people of Bukit Gasing, the next speaker, I do not need to introduce. It's Mr. BKK Raja, our calon for Bukit Gasing.
There's a reason why I stand here today, and mostly because of all the people who came before me, right? They have heart, and I believe in them, so much so that I would stand next to them to fight this fight, right? We all have different facades in life, no? I may not be born here, but I'm raising my children in Bukit Gasing. My kids used to go to Teacher Nancy's school down the road here, right? And my wife was one of the principals. I mean, no, sorry, she was the admin staff and was pulling everyone there, right? This community has become my family. I actually adore everyone around this area. I live in section 16, and I think I can see half my family sitting down here, right? And I'm not going anywhere. I do want to serve this community. I do want to be a part of you. And when I see so much problems, right? And I do feel, because the last 1 week has been tremendous, a lot of information. This is not right, that is not right. We don't have street lights for safety. We don't have roofs on bus stops. And I ask, whose job is it? Whose job is to fix all these things? That will be said in my manifesto later. I'm going to tell you exactly why we have all these problems. Because we have ineffective leadership that is happening in Bukit Gasing itself. I know some of you don't believe that apart from political feeling, like you want to support one group or another, but believe me, that is only affecting the rakyat. The people are brought down because they're not being taken care of. There's inconsistency even in Bukit Gasing. If you look at certain areas are well taken care of because they're more affluent people, and certain areas are not taken care of because it's actually less. Someone actually commented that, no, Raja, you come from an atas area. If there's an area that is not functioning properly, we have to help them. And that's what we are here for. We want to make sure that comes up from us. Now, I want to thank the residents, the RAs of Happy Mansion, Cecilia and Irene, for allowing us to have this ceramah, because we had a chat. We wanted to convince you why we are here, why we are standing in Bukit Gasing. We want to actually provide effective leadership in this state election. We want to be the loudest voice in the State Assembly, bringing your concern, not the state body. We don't really care that. We want this to happen. Why do I feel strongly about this? Is because people forget there are much more greater things, like local council election. We've been harping on it for the last 10 years. Why hasn't it been done now? Oh no, we have to change the constitution, and we're giving excuses after 10 years. Fair enough. Today, the federal government has 148 member of parliament supporting the unity government, including YB Sadiq, sorry. Alright? Are you telling me having 2/3 majority in the parliament, it cannot be done? No, it's conveniently said now that we have important things to do. What else? At the same paragraph, he said like we have to build better toilets. Okay, I know toilets are important, but then again, the local council is equally important. When you have problems with your street lights, when you have problems with water cuts and all this stuff, drainages and all this stuff, these things need to be looked at importantly. How many times have we go around without water for days? Now, if you have to depend on the neighborhood to actually rile up and say that, look, we have to support each other, kita jaga kita during COVID and all this stuff, I think we have something wrong there. We don't have that support system that we need from our local councillors. They need to be responsible to the rakyat itself. I've been hearing complaints saying that, oh, they're not picking up my calls, they're not listening to this. 2 days ago, I'm going to just quote one person who called me, SOS, 8 o'clock in the morning. Raja, you have to come here because they're chopping down the tree. Right? I think all of you heard that, right? And I went there and I looked at it. It's like a 40-year-old tree. It was huge, nice. I think it was mahogany or something like that. But they chopped it down. Why? Because there was one complaint. It was one complaint, and you just destroyed or didn't preserve the tree in this neighborhood. So can you imagine if MPPJ allows to chop down trees, what's going to happen to your neighborhood? We're hardly going to have any trees. We need to have a tree preservation problem here now, because we need to look at how we can preserve the beauty of this Bukit Gasing itself. We need to look into that. We also need to look at safety of the residents itself. This all boils down to having elected local councillors, not appointed by political arm. A lot of speakers before me told why we are championing this, because we feel that this is something that it is to our heart, and I don't think we should wait any longer. We should enforce this by any means. And believe me, like the hailers that was going around Section 17 this morning, as loud as possible. That's how loud we're going to be in the State Assembly. Right? It's not for me personally, it's for you and your children. Because we want to leave a nice legacy behind for them. It's an aging population. Do we have enough parks and facilities for the aging population. That is something that we have to be looking at. That is something that we should provide based on that statistic that we have read. And except for Taman Jaya Park and all that, which is under construction, I don't see any other parks that is available in Bukit Kasih. So we need to start looking at urban planning, proper urban planning, right? We need to start providing good transportation system, last mile and first mile connectivity. We don't want to take Grab because it is getting a bit expensive and also cumbersome because you don't get Grabs during peak hours. We want to make sure those are good for us. We don't need highways. I know you see that no PJD link banner there. There's a reason why we put it today. Because the MB of Selangor is coming on the 9th of August, which is next Wednesday, in this place. Alright, I want you to ask him, what is his stand on PJD link? Is he against it or is he for it? Because one moment he says, I'm cancelling it. Oh no, sorry, I'm going to review it again. But that's actually leaving such a heavy heart for a lot of residents in Section 19, Section 17. Doesn't it?
It's a big contract.
Not just us.
It's a big contract. Plenty of money to make.
A lot of money. Did you know that the entire concessionary agreement was parked under OSA? Why? I mean, this has nothing to do with defense. It was nothing to do with finance. It is a concessionary agreement based on how much money the developer is going to be making on the toll collection. That concerns you, all right? Did he say what are the social impact studies and the environment impact studies or even the traffic impact studies? Now that one of our lawyers, not mentioning anyone, the fact that managed to get the High Court to release those documents. Now I want you to ask the MB, the caretaker MB, to release those documents to you. Tell us exactly what it says. Do not fool us on saying that, look, I read it, we are now cancelling it. But then again, he doesn't have the power to cancel it at all. Are we going to revisit this in the next 5 years? And this has to stop. We need to actually make sure that PJD Link or whatever rebrand that we're going to have in the next 5 years does not revisit, because I'm concerned the value of the property in Bukit Kasih will plummet. It will actually destroy the livelihood, the quality of living that we have. Trust me, there are multiple story highways happening in KL and it's becoming too congested. Highways cause more traffic. Sorry, you want to ask a question?
Tying with that, can you do something about all the mega condos and commercial developments that are also pending in just Section 14 alone?
Thank you pointed out that. Because the thing is, right, we started having these high density apartments being built recently in PJ. Recently there was another project that was being approved or being in Section 16, a 52-story apartment block in a small little triangle. Alright? Now I'm not going to mention about Raya Mio because it's already up there. But there are a lot of ample plots that developers are going to take advantage on building high story. There is a plot ratio that should be concerned, because based on the Planning Act, it shouldn't be more than 20 stories. Right? But because they have this leeway of saying that, oh, by the way, the discretion is given to MPPJ to now increase by 30%. Now, did they study the traffic concerns, what that's going to happen here? Did they study, look, can you sell this apartment? Because what we're going to have is a lot of these empty blocks, which is not going to be occupied. Let's put a stop to all this. Because I think the residents have the right to object to all these developments. We don't want local councillors or anyone disturbing the quality that we have here, right? Because I want my children to grow in a very conducive environment. I want to leave them the way that I've been living. The way you want to live it to your children. Not destruction. Now I come from a family of businessmen. Like, it started off with my grandfather. Now he's passed on my dad. I've taken over. And truth be told, he never once told me that you have to be the boss from day one. I started from ground up. He literally told me, look, we have a hotel. You have the housekeeping. He told me to make up beds. That lasted for a month, and after that he told me to be a bellboy. The next thing, you go to the accounts department. Carry bags. Yeah, bellboy, I know it. But I believe in that principle, that when you want to understand another person's position, you have to be in their shoes, right? And that's what I want to be. I want to be your Adun in the next state assembly to make sure that your voice is heard in the next state assembly, right? Can we do that or not? I can make a lot of promises, like what you said, but there's a few things that I want to keep. Give me 5 years, and I will make sure that we don't sacrifice our rights, our human decency in this Bukit Kasih. Alright? I do want one thing from you guys. When the MB does come on Wednesday, ask him, why is he making flip-flop decisions on the PJ dealing? Why? Because the residents are not happy. We are not happy. I'm not happy. Because I want to live in an area which is safe, non-polluted, and also where someone I can call home. Right? Our home. And believe me, the theme for our PJ, our community, is something I'm going to hold on to. I'm not here to challenge PH or PN. They're fighting over who is going to be the next Prime Minister or the Menteri Besar. We don't want that. We just want effective leadership in this Adun. Right? Can we do that? Can we make sure? Look, I'll be honest. If you find me ineffective the next 5 years, you have every right to kick me out. So should the seat, right? It does not belong to anyone. If PH supporters come and say, hey, look, you're coming into a PH area, I say, listen, it is the people's area. It's a people's seat. Never once be arrogant enough to say that it belongs to you. Trust me, it's going to backfire. Can we do that?
Yes.
Sorry. We're going to have one more speaker, which is YB Amira. And then we'll start asking, you can ask questions. Thank you. Now, okay, I'm just going to say my piece and all this stuff. I just want to thank everyone. My wife, I lied to you. The fact that I said that I was prepared, I was not. I'm just saying whatever comes to my head. Just like I said, are you ready for the marriage? And I said, yes, I was ready. Just like how I said, are you ready to have your first child? I said, yes, I am ready. And I'm going to say, I am ready to represent you in the State Assembly of Selangor. I'm very sure. Thank you.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was Raja, our calon Bukit Kasih. Elections on the 12th. Please don't forget to vote. And if you vote, kalau tak keberatan, we're not forcing you. Kalau tak keberatan, if it's in your heart to give Raja a chance as your dude. Right, for our final speaker tonight, they used to say, in order for one to make it, 100 must go. And Amira Aisyah is the one who made it. In Johor election, we contested in 7 seats and we won in 1. And it was Puteri Wangsa, Amira Aisyah. So I would like to welcome YB Amira Aisyah, Tun of Puteri Wangsa, to speak to people of Bukit Kasih today.
Thank you very much, my very good friend Abul Kas. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Datahau. Vanakkam. Sat Sri Akal. Very good evening to everyone. Thank you very much to Raja, Liban, and all of Raja's team for inviting me here tonight. Of course, as the Deputy President of MUDA, I've been going around a lot of the campaigns. I just arrived from Sungai Kandis. I was in JB this morning, and yesterday I was in Terengganu. But one of the things that really inspired me was that everywhere I go, and whenever I meet the people in Sungai Kandis, in Bukit Gasing, in Don Banda, in Terengganu, and tomorrow I'm going to Penang, I always realize that Malaysians, regardless of race, religion, gender, they are very accepting to hear ideas. And that is the biggest thing that we appreciate as MUDA. Ladies and gentlemen, before I begin on why we choose Raja to contest here in Bukit Gasing, why the leadership of MUDA feels that Raja will be a very good candidate in Bukit Gasing, not just to win the election, but to be your representative, allow me a small chance to speak about why MUDA decides to contest on our own in this current election. Because when we first made the announcement, there are people who told us, oh, you don't have principles. Because you don't have principles, you decide to go on your own. Now I want to throw this question again to them. Apa maksud prinsip? What does it mean by principle? Does principle mean that you toe down the party line? Does principle mean that you stick with a certain coalition regardless whether it's right or wrong? No. Principles mean that what you promise to do, you commit to it. Principles mean that if you have promised something to the people, you must deliver it back to the people. When we look at the political scenario today, ladies and gentlemen, kita tengok hari ni, we have two major blocks. Dua blok yang besar. Satu, kita ada Perikatan Nasional. One, we have PH and Barisan Nasional. Before this, kita ada PH against Barisan Nasional. Politics is very fluid like that, right? But in these two blocks, one thing that we realize is that there is no proper system of checks and balance. What does it mean by that? It means that proper opposition to speak about issues that are close to the people. What happens in politics these days are about politicians playing the racial card, politicians playing the religion card, and even though in elections they promise that they will, go against corruptor. They said that we reject corruption. But after election, what happens? You allow corruptors to speak on behalf of the people. For example, recently what happened in Kuala Terengganu, I was in Terengganu but at that point of time, in Dungun, not Kuala Terengganu. Dato Sri Zaid Hamidi took up the stage and he said that, he's going to give 250,000 ringgit to the young people there, as long as they throw their support to PH and Barisan Nasional. Is that not corruption? Is that not trying to sogok the pengundi?
Bribery.
It's bribery in daylight. And it's being done by the number 2 in the country. And what happened after that? MUDA lodged the police report. But what happened? The number 1 of SPRM, Tan Sri Azam Baki, he said that, oh, it's not corruption. And then the Prime Minister also said that it's not corruption. How is it that you're going to say that this country, that this government goes against corruption, but when your number 2 says this, you say that it's okay, that it's alright? That is not right. That is not what we have to fight for in this country. That is not the kind of country that we want to leave to our children and grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember I was one of the people who have been continuously called to the police station because we went on the street fighting against Tan Sri Azam Baki. I spoke against Tan Sri Azam Baki at the time when Muafakat Nasional was the government. And who was with me at that point of time? It was my Pakatan Harapan brothers and sisters. We have the likes of Adam Adli there speaking against Azam Baki as well. But now that you are in power, you reinstate his position, you continue his contract, and you allow him to say okay to these kinds of corruption. It's not right. On the other hand, we're looking at how politics and politicians play around the racial card. Cikgu Rahayu mentioned just now about education. Education is very close to my heart. I don't come from a family of politics. My mother was a teacher. My late father, before he passed away, was also a teacher. And when I was growing up in a squatter area. Saya membesar di kawasan Setinggan. If anyone knows, in Kampung Melayu Majidi in Johor. And when I was growing up, I was surrounded by B40 Malay families, right? And I watched how my peers, at the age of 15, 16 years old, I have friends who are already pregnant. At the age of 12 years old, you have kids who dropped out of schools. And this government, at that point of time, Barisan Nasional, who have held on to power for over 60 years, saying that they are fighting for Malay kids. And I've always wondered, who are the Malay kids you're championing for? Because at the end of the day, after so many years, all these policies you have trying to fight for the Malays, they are not even benefiting the very poor Malays. At the end of the day, it's only benefiting the elites. So if you want to fight for orang Melayu, if you want to fight for orang Cina, if you want to fight for orang India, fight for everyone. Jangan masuk pilihan raya kata, oh semua orang ini anak-anak saya. Tapi akhirnya bila habis pilihan raya, you only fight for one race and one religion. That's not right. And I always say this, I remember my friend, back when I was in high school, he told me a story. My friend is an Indian man. And he told me, suatu dia di sekolah rendah, dia kata, you know, in school, teachers ask young kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said that he wanted to be a prime minister. And the whole class laughed at him. And the teacher was the one who told him, you can never be prime minister. Because you're not a Malay man. How does that affect young children in this country? To know that you are not accepted in your own country just because you are not born a Malay, just because you are not born a Muslim. This is not the kind of politics, and this is not the country that we want to live for our children. I have my intern here with me, Adam, who was using his new camera there. He is 18 years old. And he's also very, very passionate about politics. And every day I tell him, don't ever lose hope and lose dream that one day you can be the Prime Minister of Malaysia. Because if it's not us, the young people who believe that Malaysia can change, who will? If it's not us, the young people who will fight for the future of our country, who will? And if it is not us, the young people who say no to all kinds of old politics that play with racism, that plays with corruption, that only thinks about money and power, who will do it? And that's why, although MUDA knows that the journey in this election is not going to be easy for us, we are not just, empty dreamers. We know that this road is not easy. We know that we don't have a lot of money in comparison with other political parties. We don't have a lot of machineries. Liban just told me just now, he said, Amira, we're very tired because there's only so little of us who can work full-time. Because a lot of us MUDA members, they have other full-time work. But they commit their energy, they commit their time for this. And I know some of MUDA members who took unpaid leave for 2 weeks in order for them to be in this fight. But regardless of how difficult it is, we push through and we persevere because we have faith in this country. Because at the end of the day, tak kisahlah anak Melayu ke, anak Cina, anak India, anak Iban, anak Dusun. We all belong in this country. Raja belongs in this country as much as I do. Adam belongs in this country as much as I do. And regardless of race, religion, gender, every child in Malaysia should not be deprived of any dream that they want. And that's why just now Cikgu Rahayu mentioned about the young girl. And she said she doesn't want to mention name, but I will. The young girl spoke to Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim. And she questioned about the quota system of education in Malaysia. You could have always answered her nicely. I mean, if you just go after this, maybe if you have time, try to search for that video. As the Prime Minister of Malaysia, if you want to say that, the country is not ready for it, if you want to say about how it's important to prioritize needs, you can say it in a nice way. You don't have to be condescending to a young Indian girl who is already having a very difficult time trying to reach a level playing field, along with her other peers. And you talk down to her in that sense. You talk down to her in front of her peers from the number one person in the country. That is not right. And that's not just affecting that girl. Cikgu Rayu was just telling me just now, Amira, I really cannot stop thinking about that girl. I wonder what happens to her after this. Whether she'll be made fun from her friends. How will she be feeling? Cikgu Rayu is very soft-hearted in that way. But it's not just about that girl, right? The ripple effect is to so many other young people in this country who watch that video and say, oh, I can never question my right and my position in this country again. Because if I do it, because this young girl was talked down, was reminded by the number one in the country, anyone can do it to me. And that is just not right, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why, although it is difficult for us, although we don't have much money, and we have to open a lot of kiosks at MUDA Hustle back then, Cikgu Rayu and I had to cook nasi lemak to raise funds for the party. Syed Saddiq has to sell satay. But it's okay. We do it because we have faith in Malaysia, and we have faith in all of you who want to build a better Malaysia with us, along with us. When we enter into this election, we know one thing. We want to show the true reflection of Malaysia. What does that mean? We want to ensure that our candidates reflect Malaysia as it is. With the 50% population of women, we commit to put 50% women in this election, and we did. We have Chinese, Indian, women, men from all across backgrounds. You have businessmen like Raja. You also have a young graduate like Melanie. Because we believe that for a political party to say that we want a country that is equal and respecting to everyone, it has to start from our own party. And so although it's difficult to put forth 50% young women, 50% women candidates, we still commit to it because we believe in the cause. Because we believe that political parties have to start holding on to their words, starting from our own parties. You cannot demand other people to do it, but you have to do it yourselves. But when people tell us that, oh, they are just tokens, it is not right. These young girls are not tokens. These Indian and Chinese are not tokens. When we decided to put Raja in Bukit Gasing, it's not simply because we want to fill up the Indian quota. It's because we believe in Raja. For as long as I've known Raja, it's not that long because Parti MUDA has only been built since 2020. But I've always known how committed Raja is to the cause. Even though he has to travel back and forth from Perak to Selangor back then, he did it. Because he believes in the cause. He believes that he has to champion the voices of the people. And if he can do it to Perak, which is so far from him, I'm 100% sure that he can commit to the cause in Bukit Gasing, where his whole family is at. And Raja, we are not just putting simply anyone in Bukit Gasing, ladies and gentlemen. Raja is not just, a random person plucked by the street from Parti MUDA and say, look, we have a seat here, can you contest it? No. Raja is one of the Central Executive Committee in MUDA. He is our heavyweight here. And we present a heavyweight for you in Bukit Gasing because we believe that the people in Bukit Gasing deserves a good representative. You've heard from Raja. You've heard of what he wants to bring to the table in Bukit Gasing. About local council election, about accountability, about transparency. All these things are the things that we truly believe in MUDA. And even though people tell us, you contest 14 seats in Selangor, you win all, you cannot even be government. Why would we vote for you? Your voices are not only important as government, but being opposition is just as much as important as being in the government bench. Because you need the voice of check and balance in any Dewan Undangan Negeri, in any Dewan Rakyat. Because who's going to hold the government accountable when they do stuff like PJD Link? Who's going to hold the government accountable when they don't uphold the people's voices? It has to be from the people of the government, of the backbenches, and also from the opposition bench. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, even though MUDA sends 14 candidates and we might not be able to form government, one thing I can promise to you, like Raja said, MUDA will continuously be the loudest voice in any Dewan we go. As loud as Syed Saddiq in Dewan Rakyat, as loud as I am in Dewan Undangan Negeri, I'm sure Raja can bring your voice in Dewan Undangan Negeri Selangor. So, ladies and gentlemen, although I know that we might be a small party in comparison to other parties who have had a lot of experience, but our sincerity to serve the nation, we commit to it. I resigned from my job to start up MUDA. In the same way that Cikgu Rahayu resigned from a stable government job to start up her own school. These are the kind of people that we want to represent the people in the country. With a lot of humble heart. I know it's not easy to put your trust and put your faith in a young man that has never had a stint in politics before. But after you hear what he's got to say, after you've seen how hardworking he is for the past couple of weeks and couple of months, I want to make a sincere plea to the people in Bukit Gasing. On 12th of August, when you go to Peti Undi, when you walk to your pusat mengundi, one thing that I ask you to do, think about what kind of people that you want to represent you. Reject all corruptors. Reject the politicians who play with racial and religion card. Bring up the people who really want to represent you. Please choose someone who wants to work hard for you, who wants to give everything he has for Bukit Gasing. I hope that one day when you go to the Pusat Mengundi on 12th of August, you can find it in your heart to pangkah Parti MUDA, to choose Raja for MUDA, for Bukit Gasing. That is my sincerest plea to you. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan ada yang menonton secara live, ada yang menonton lepas ni mungkin ada recording. Satu kali lagi, saya nak mohon dengan hati yang sangat rendah, berikan satu peluang untuk Raja berkhidmat untuk penduduk Bukit Gasing. Berikan satu peluang untuk Raja mengangkat suara tuan-tuan dan puan-puan ke dalam Dewan Undangan Negeri. Berikan satu peluang untuk Parti MUDA membawa visi Selangor yang lebih baik untuk semua rakyat Selangor. Tidak kira bangsa, tidak kira agama, tidak kira jantina, tidak kira latar belakang. Pada 12 Ogos nanti, pangkah Parti MUDA, pilih Raja untuk Bukit Gasing. Sekian wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We are now taking questions. If anyone is have a question to ask, they can raise their hand and I'll give you the mic.
Hello. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just to introduce myself, my name is Charles F. Moreira. I am actually come from Section 14. Although when my parents moved to PJ, they got a house. At that time I was 16 years old. They got a house on 1720, and I stayed there. We had that house until around 1990 or 1989, 1990 before we sold it off. And then later I moved over to Section 14. Anyways, okay. So to put it simply, I have my roots in Section 17, and these apartments that those days when we moved in used to be the residences of the Institute Technology Mara students. Anyway, okay. Now I have a question regarding this. What you're talking about is
your mic.
anything happening?
Mic no volume.
Okay. Regarding this question about elected local council, the question is whether elected or appointed, will they have legislative power? Now we recently saw a bit of a kerfuffle that happened in the meeting that was headed by the Dato' Banda, where some of them walked out of the meeting and all sorts of things like that, because they were told you don't have decision-making power, you don't have legislative, you're not like an MP or an Adun, where you decide you can actually vote and make policy. You seem to be able to just give advice and give feedback. So even if you are elected, unless that aspect of it is changed to give them legislative power, to give them authority to decide on policy for the local authority policy, of course. I mean, will there be any difference? I mean, okay, maybe I should just keep it to that level. Yeah.
Thank you, Charles. So, when it comes to local councillors, they do have authority to actually decide on development. They do have the power to reject and approve, because it's like a boardroom, right? So, there's a lot of things that get pushed because of political influence, okay? That has to stop. Because when you are elected, right, that power actually is within the local councillors itself. So we need to actually we have to decentralize the powers that is actually lying with the top head. Like, you know, Menteri Besar is actually now appointing all the local councillors and all this stuff. The local councillors should be elected by the citizens itself. It has happened everywhere. As far as your question, whether they have power or not, it is written in the constitution itself. They do. They do have power to decide on development projects.
I'm in favor of electing the local councillors because we could elect people we know, activists within our.
Correct. We used to have local council elections in the 1960s before it was abolished due to the 1969 racial riots. So we need to bring it back. We need to have the third voice in the state assembly so that it will allow for decentralization of power to give more autonomy to the local councillors itself.
Okay, any more questions? We'll take a few more questions. You want to did you? Oh, okay.
Hello?
Yes. As long as it's tilted, it works.
Oh, you have to tilt it to, okay, yes. Hi, so nice to meet you, Raja. Likewise, my credentials, born in section 17, I am now 35 years old, living in section 17, 16 area all my life, except for overseas studying. So I guess my question also pertains to the local councillors issue, which I have very mixed feelings about, because with my experience, especially over the COVID pandemic, I feel that it's all the more important we have local councillors who live in the area that they are supposed to be managing, representing, because they need to be watching what is happening in the neighborhood that they are responsible for, which unfortunately isn't the case at the moment. As I mentioned before, even the current councillor for 17, 16, and I think 19, the zone 10, 16, 17, she has numbers are up down. Yeah. I found this out over the COVID pandemic. Yeah, because, I mean, like you said, because ultimately these are appointed by the Aduns, and they're probably going to, for whether they, can help it or not, they will appoint basically people they know, or somebody who is recommended to them. Yes. Correct. Or somebody who is using the local councillor position to step up their political career. First local councillor, then run for Adun, then run for, various state positions, that kind of. So I guess my question to you, and probably to those people who are looking to represent anyone who has power over MBPJ, is this. I know maybe you can't
make local council elections happen so fast. I don't think you can make it happen instantaneously. But in the meantime, can you commit to at least trying to appoint local councillors who belong to where they are appointed to? Can you make that promise? Bring back Elaine.
That's what you meant, right? Bring back Elaine.
Bring back people like Elaine.
Thank you. I don't know whether she's going to shoot me. I had a long discussion with Elaine yesterday. Okay, we were sitting in the house and having a long chat on what was going wrong in MPPJ. All right.
Everything is going wrong.
And yes, we agree, and we want to commit that when you elect your local councillors, if the local council election doesn't happen quite fast, that they should come from their own territory. They should come from their own ward, right? I would agree, right? Let's do that. So, Elaine said, no, I'm not going to take the job anymore.
Elaine tired already.
Okay, thank you very much.
Alright, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for coming. So don't forget the elections. I don't think you guys will forget the elections on 12th, kan? So it's just what we do. But if you can, please, again, I plead to all of you to vote for Raja, to undi Raja, and give him a chance to represent you. Then I also want to say one thing before we end. Saya sebagai Ketua Parlimen Damansara, I will speak my mother tongue for this. Saya pun terasa dengan kejadian yang jadi kepada budak tadi yang bercakap dengan Anwar Ibrahim. And I would like to say in front of witnesses, depan saksi yang hidup dan juga di alam maya, yang saya sebagai seorang Melayu, I believe in my heart, saya percaya dalam hati saya, yang setiap orang, tak kisah bangsa apa, adalah rakyat Malaysia. Dan you deserve every right that I have. And I will try to fight, kalau boleh, for all of this to happen. Because as a PJ boy, an Indian taught me how to read English, how to speak English. A Chinese unsuccessfully taught me how to count. So I am indebted to every single race, and this thing is just wrong. It's just plain wrong. So thank you everyone. Thank you for coming. Vote for Raja. Vote for MUDA, and we will see you again in the next CERAMAH. And check out the WhatsApp and everything, then you will find out the next one. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, and MUDA Hustle. Sheena asked me to remind you about MUDA Hustle. Yeah, so we have merchandises that you can still buy to support our campaign. This is actually really how we get our campaign money for the election. So try to buy some payung, baju, button badges, everything is for sale. So thank you very much. Sorry. Again, a lot of information coming. We are also looking for pachas to help us during the election. So if you are interested and you are free during the election, on the election day, please contact us and ask us about being our pacha. Thank you so much. Oh yes, and vote for MUDA. Yeah, and tell your friends to vote for MUDA. Tell your family to vote for MUDA. Tell everyone you know to vote for MUDA, even if there's no MUDA in the constituency.